I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight on a nice hot August day. Don't complain too much about the heat because it's going to be over very shortly and it'll be normal season. Okay, so regular board meeting minutes, we need approval and vote on that, and then we'll do the special meeting. So normal town board meeting.
I'll make a motion that we accept the regular meeting minutes as they are.
Second. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Special minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the July 29th special meeting town board minutes.
Okay, any second?
Second that.
Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? General bills.
That's me tonight. Thank you for calling me, never be coming early.
There's a lot of them.
I'd like to make a motion that we pay abstract vouchers number 8, vouchers number 101 through 116 for 52,000. Nope, back up, just erase everything. I'm ahead of myself here. Vouchers 199 to 237 for 73,226.48. I make a motion that we pay.
Need a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I would vote.
That was me this month, and I make a motion that we approve and pay vouchers 101 through 116, totaling $52,908.38.
I'll second. You did much better than me.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Monthly reports. I apologize, I don't have my supervisor's report this month because Colin, our accountant, he's the one that always doubles the checks and puts the final together, so it's a check and balance, and he had a death in the family, so he was unable to do it, so when I get him this coming week, we'll just email you guys a copy, so you have it. Okay. So that's why my supervisor's report is not
You receive and file? No.
Yeah, we need to receive the
I'll
file.
make a motion that we receive and file the monthly reports, listed the chief's report, the town clerk's monthly report, the code enforcement report, and the highway superintendent's report, and we also have one for crowd control officer. Make a motion to receive and file.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, privilege of the floor.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. I'm Supervisor Park. For you of those who do not know me, my name is Emmanuel Pothos, and got a prepared statement I'd like to read to the board, and thanks for the opportunity here. As you all know, I am the developer who proposed the off-premise advertising billboard project for the last almost feels like 3 years or an eternity. I'm sure you guys are happy to have it not on your plate every single meeting. But again, thank you for the time here. I guess I wanted to start by saying, a few statements. First of all, the amplified voices of a few, right? The opposition, while vocal and significant, represents only a small cross-section of the community. While their concerns deserve attention, and it is essential to recognize that their voices may have been disproportionately amplified compared to the many residents and business owners who see the development as an opportunity. The majority of residents have not been formally surveyed on the project, and it's critical to acknowledge that the feedback we received thus far may not represent the full spectrum of public opinion. Many individuals, especially in the business community, stand to benefit from this development, but have not had the chance to weigh in publicly or are afraid to do so due to the hostile, vicious atmosphere. There is strong business support. Over the course of this development, I've gathered support from a range of businesses, from large employers in the county to small, locally owned companies across the town, village, and county. These businesses recognize the potential of the billboard development to boost local revenue, increase visibility for their products and services, and to the motoring public that consists of approximately 30,000 vehicles a day. The project could bring significant advertising opportunities, especially for small businesses in Homer that may not have the budget to advertise on traditional platforms. A local billboard gives the businesses access to a more cost-effective marketing option. Ms. Head, with all due respect, I disagree with your assessment and your research that shows the ranges were from $1,000 to $10,000 a month for advertising space. The truth is, I have signed executed marketing agreements with local businesses for $300 to $500 a month. So if you do the math on that, that equates essentially to about 0.016 cents a vehicle going by the locations. So for a total of about 1,400 views per day of whoever advertises on the billboard. So you can't get any more cost effective than that. That's the facts because we have executed agreements. For large employers, the billboard represented a potential for community engagement, brand exposure, especially along the major highway of I-81 that drives traffic to the region. The increased visibility can attract more people to our town, supporting local restaurants, shops, and services. Okay? One highlight I need to make aware to the board, missing the public hearing process. Okay? It's important to highlight that the proposal never really received a formal public hearing. Vital step in any development project that involves the community. Without this, many voices have not had the chance to be heard. The process was truncated with only a limited number of public comments and petitions being presented in a very chaotic, threatening environment. I myself as a developer at times was afraid to speak. A larger forum would have allowed a more comprehensive discussion about the potential benefits and how we could address concerns constructively in a democratic manner, not in a threatening, hostile environment. The growth of the economy and jobs. Additionally, the revenue generated from the billboard traffic coming off the interstate exits could be used to fund community programs, improvements benefiting all residents, not just those who are opposed to it. Please let's not forget about the tax base. You have a large job ahead of you. Everybody's clamoring for sales tax money from the county to the towns to the cities. There's not enough to go around. I'm not saying that this development is a silver bullet and it's going to bring in millions and millions of sales tax revenue. That's not what I'm saying, but the facts are, if someone knows that there's a product or service that they can use via a billboard, they will stop and use it. Long-term vision of Homer. The vision of for this development is not just about one billboard, it's about positioning Homer and the entire county as a community that embraces modern development, while also respecting its values and aesthetics. At the current moment, nobody would want to try to do a business or a development in this hostile environment. They don't want their families to be threatened, and there's plenty of other places that are open with welcome arms to do business. The proposed law went above and beyond the requirements of state and federal, and I applaud the authors of the law as it aims to mitigate and address the environmental and safety concerns without stifling the economic potential of the project. Mike, I'm almost done, okay? The development and law has the potential to be a model of responsible growth, a balanced approach that acknowledges the concerns of residents while also leveraging the economic opportunities available to us via the interstate, where everyone can benefit from increased money being spent in the town, village, and county. A better future for Homer. Let's not lose sight of the big picture. This project has the potential to bring positive changes to Homer, creating jobs, supporting small businesses, and helping local employers grow. Think about all the benefits and all the towns, all the programs that we have. We had Brockway here last weekend, and all things we could advertise to the motoring public. By moving forward with full engagement and continued dialogue with both supporters and those with concerns, we can arrive at a solution that benefits the community as a whole, without threats of violence to our town board and their families. There is no place for violence in a democratic government. Thank you very much, Mike.
To add on to that, Mike, there was 900 signatures, correct? Supposedly that were for against it. There's 6,300 people in this town. That is 5% of the people in this community. The other 95% of the people must be for it or don't really care about it. So it'll move on. You say it's not gonna move on, it's going to move on,
And I agree.
okay? I'm sorry to hear that, but it's 4 locations, not 5,000 locations. Some people steal land to make their farms better from other farmers and stuff. That's okay in this community. People wanna do things other than what they wanna do. So, and the other thing I have, what about this new truck? Can we fix the old trucks?
We'll get there, let's.
Wait, this is public speaking. When I go to talk, you tell me to shut the F up, basically.
We're gonna review that.
Okay, but I'm just saying, do you want me to read everything I wanna talk about in the public thing?
Go ahead.
No, because when I speak, you told me last month, this is for the board only.
When we get to the board part, but okay,
But-
go ahead.
But when,
Mention
you
your
can't talk about the stuff because you don't want me to.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna talk about it anymore, I'm done.
No, go ahead.
Okay,
You
no,
wanna talk about
no,
that?
you go ahead with your meetings, but I'm gonna be here every month from here on out,
All right.
alright?
That's not-
And I will figure out what I need to talk about, okay? Thank you for your time.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I would like it on behalf of everybody who watches my videos. Could you give us just a brief overview of what revising the comprehensive plan is all about and where you are in that process and what's still to be done?
Comprehensive plan where we're at right now, we applied for. So that's in grant review right now. We just submitted end of July. So we won't know if we get this grant till December. I believe that's what Once we get that grant, it'll be made up of a compromise. We'll form a committee. We already have a subcommittee right now to help write the grant requirements. If we get the grant, then it's members from the planning board, the town board, and from the public. It'll be a few of them. It's not gonna be like 100 people. It's gonna be a very cross-section group. And then they'll start working on, with guidelines with TOMA, development, with professionals to help us rewrite what the future should look like in the town of Homer. And then it'll come to the town board, and if I remember correctly, you may have to correct me on that, I think it has to go to a public vote. Or it's put out to the public, so everybody gets to review.
I mean, there will be the typical process, you're gonna have several opportunities for the public to comment on drafts. It has to be reviewed by the committee, whoever's on that committee. The county has to review it. It has to go, depending on what the zoning says, I'd have to look at it. Sometimes they go to the planning board, and then it has to be adopted by the town board.
So it's a lengthy proposition. If we do get the grant, it's probably gonna take 2 years, I'm guessing. It's gonna take some time to develop it.
Okay. And whatever is ultimately, if we do this, whatever's ultimately put in there, is it legally binding or is it more like a guiding light type of?
Well, it's what we're supposed to work by.
Yeah, well, comprehensive plan is basically the town's vision for the future. So it's a forward-looking plan. Typically, you plan for the next 10 to 15 years. And then, once you have a comprehensive plan, any new zoning that you adopt is supposed to be founded in your comprehensive plan. Or has some sort of support in your comprehensive plan.
Thanks for that.
Yep.
Thank you.
One question, if I may just follow up, in terms of zoning, is there change in zoning? Does that usually happen in the comprehensive plan?
The comprehensive plans could recommend changes, but you're not gonna actually change or amend the zoning as part of the comprehensive plan. That would be like a next step.
Oh, sorry, okay.
Would they have to have a variance?
I'm not, I guess I don't really understand the question.
A variance to separate property or
Well, that would still be, that would still.
the same
fall in.
owner will still own it? That's not,
No, we're just doing like it's a roadmap for the town of Homer.
okay.
We got industrial lands, and we want more industrial land or light industrial.
Right.
And what's agricultural, and that's what they did back in 203, was it? Kevin, do you remember? 203? And that took them 2 or 3 years. We did it in-house. I say we, I wasn't part of it. It was done in-house.
Barry would know.
I should.
But anyways, it's a long time, what we need to, part of the comprehensive plan is, do we want more industrial land, which I think we definitely need it to make this area grow. You know, but we just need a good review, it should be done every 10 years or so, and we're well over that timeframe. So, going back to you, we did have a discussion, if you wanna discuss the dump truck, I'm willing to do it.
It's okay, Mike, I'm just saying is, you can't, what I'm trying to say is, you can't get everything in, and when I try to talk about something while you're having your meeting.
You're right, and I
Okay.
apologize for that,
So what I
ask
was
your
trying to say
questions,
last
yeah.
time, this has been here for 117 years, this building.
Mhm.
And now we wanna change after 117 years of the plow situation of putting public can't park here at night, is all I was trying to say. Okay, so, but I can't talk and remember all this stuff to tell you what I'm thinking prior to the time we have, the minimum time
Yep.
of what we've got to talk. So we have to try to decipher what we can talk about as the public as you're going along with it, because like you just said, we'll get to that. So when we get to it, then you go into a public meeting with it, with you people. We aren't supposed to speak anymore. We're done talking. So I don't know where I stand for when I can speak about what I'm thinking that, so you guys can remember, this was 117 years that we've been plowing snow in the parking lot, and now we're changing.
Yep.
Okay? But to me, it's not right for the public to be able not park here if they want to. That's what I was trying to get at.
Good.
And you guys are doing a great job, you know what I'm saying, but I have things I'd like to talk about too. So I don't know when I have to talk about it.
We'll do it in the presence of the floor, and I'll be a little more lenient with you.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to be
I understand.
angry, I'm just trying
Yeah.
to help the town save money. Cause to me, we're spending an awful lot of money. There's alternate things to do. If we need a box for a truck, to go to Ox over in Marathon, we can go to, what's his name, on Looper Road, and get pricing for boxes. Or to Mike Parks, or the guys that build boxes, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to decipher what we're talking about
Mhm.
as we're going forward on these projects.
Okay.
To try to save the town money. Okay?
And we're
I'm
looking at
done.
that all the time too.
I know you are, and I'm just trying to give other ideas so you can look at.
Yep.
Maybe you missed it, maybe Kevin missed it, maybe Barry missed it, maybe Sarah missed it, I don't know. I'm just putting my point out there so you guys can keep going. You want me to shut up now, Kevin? I'm done.
No, he didn't miss anything.
All right, anybody else for privilege of the floor?
They don't miss much.
Well, yeah,
All right, so Cortland Standard, I would like to make the Cortland Standard an official newspaper now, that they've been in business for, I believe, going on 6 months or so. And we'll get away from the Post Standard, because right now we have to advertise in the Post Standard and in the Cortland Standard. And I wanna keep advertising in both, and they are now our local paper, so I think we should name them our official newspaper. So I need a motion on that.
Motion, go ahead, Barry.
I'll make the motion that we accept Cortland Standard, and drop the other paper.
So we'll make Cortland Standard our official newspaper, correct?
Second.
Any other discussion?
Who are you dropping?
Post Standard, Syracuse Post
Oh,
Standard.
okay, yep.
Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Lindsay, hi.
Hi,
Can you give us some update on the dog traffic control?
I have nothing exciting to report. We're hoping to move forward with our grant project in the fall. We haven't had any empty kennels to really work on construction in the past couple months. The state was like in a financial freeze for 6 months, so we were supposed to start in February, and their financial freeze didn't lift till May. So we didn't receive any funding until towards the end of May.
Can you tell us what this, I know you did it a year or so ago, but what the grant, what you want to accomplish with the grant money?
So New York State obviously imposed a lot of, new, shelter standard guidelines for us. They actually go into effect at January 1st of 26. And one of those is generator backup, so we have to redo all of our, electric. We're adding a new boiler, and we actually already covered our exercise pens, from the weather we were able to get that done this past fall we had to match 20% of the grant, so we were able to start spending our own money before the state came through with theirs. So we got that finished, and then we're constructing 2 new meet and greet areas in the upstairs of the shelter. So hopefully, our contractors, Chris Crossway, he had his summer work booked out, obviously, so it's inside work, so hopefully we'll start in November. So yeah, those new shelter standard guidelines we have to write a lot of new procedures. I think we're gonna have to bring someone on part-time to meet the state pushed the pencil to have staffing meet how many dogs you have in-house and all this stuff, so no matter how you do it, they're saying you need X number of, staff members per stray dog count.
State's good at that.
Yep.
For the state of New York?
State is good at what they demand businesses do and how they operate.
They haven't rewritten cruelty laws since like 1968 or something, but they're rewriting.
So have you seen the dog business pick up in the town of Homer? I mean, are you getting more complaints or is it pretty level?
We are getting probably 10 owner surrender apps across the board to every single one adoption application in the past 6 months. And that includes Homer, it includes, I'd say, I mean, this is always our busiest time of year, so I'd say we're picking up 3 to 6 dogs a month in Homer, and then by November it might be 1, but.
So it's pretty level.
Yeah. Staying consistent, I think. Just what we're required to provide to each dog we pick up now is extremely different, so.
I mean, they don't even require that we have to have a generator, is what we're doing.
Yeah, so we have to have generator backup, and our current electric system won't handle, even if we just install that at the gate, so we gotta rework everything.
You didn't take any miniature goats with their fed or their house trained? No, not yet?
She's got more
I'm
time,
looking.
because,
Alright.
my dog isn't snuggling.
Yeah. Well, we actually picked up, near Heather's, actually, we picked up on Creel Road, I picked up one of the neighbor's dogs. And then she came and redeemed it, it was Saturday morning I picked it up, she came and redeemed it Sunday. And Monday morning I pick it back up again, the same dog she just picked up Sunday. I'm like, it was at Dave's Veggies that time, but she was a hound, so I gave her a little break, but. She's
Board
still
members, you got any questions for Nancy? Anything else you wanna, appreciate you coming in, I know it doesn't take long, but we'd like to hear from
Yeah,
everybody that
any questions, just email me or.
appreciate the work you're doing and taking care of our strays and whatever's going on. I know the dog license business, it's unbelievable how many they process down here. That's all Donna does for months on end, it seems like. Yeah, that's our third clerk, yeah. All right, thank you.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
So Brian Fitz was supposed to be here and then, something come up, so we can't make it. So what you have in your packet here, we get the town of Homer property reassessment. As you know, we entered an agreement last year, so we're gonna be doing a reassessment. Officially gonna be ramped up starting the 1st of September. So I'm just gonna read what he put together. So we really wanna communicate this well. We're gonna get it in the Homer News this month. I'm gonna write something about it, and I believe Pat or the village is gonna write. So we're gonna get together and write something, because people are asking a lot of questions and panicking, because we're being hit with a triple whammy here this year with the sales tax and everything else. So I'm gonna read what he wrote for us, because it's kind of a good synopsis. The town of Homer is preparing for a townwide reassessment of all properties as part of the 2027 assessment plan. This important intuitive helps ensure that property assessments remain fair, accurate, and aligned with current market values. And at this point, I'm gonna ask Dan, will you finish reading it? I'm gonna lose my voice.
So what homeowners can expect. Property owners play an important role in the reassessment process. First phase involves confirming that property inventory records are up to date. In the coming weeks, you will receive 2 documents. The first one is property description report, which is a summary of the data currently on file for your residential parcel. And the second is interior information form, a brief questionnaire about the interior features of your home. We ask you to please review both documents carefully. If any corrections are needed, simply cross out the incorrect information and write in the updated details. Be sure to include any structures not currently listed. If no changes are necessary, both forms should be signed and returned within 30 days of receipt. Why reassessments matter. Reassessments are essential to maintaining fairness in property taxation. Over time, property values change, some increase, others decrease, and some remain stable. Without regular reassessments, some homeowners may end up paying more than their fair share, while others pay less. Example, if 3 homes were each valued at $100,000 20 years ago, but today one is worth $300,000 and another $200,000 and a third is still $100,000, they may still be taxed equally. A reassessment ensures that each property owner pays based on current market value. Key points to remember. A reassessment does not automatically mean higher taxes. Your taxes may increase, decrease, or stay the same depending on how your property's value compares to others. Reassessments do not increase the amount of taxes collected by local governments. Total tax levy is determined separately by school boards, town boards, and other taxing authorities. Assessors determine property values, not tax rates. Tax rates are set after assessments are finalized. Reassessments help distribute the tax levy more fairly. If assessments rise overall, tax rates typically decrease proportionally. Think of the total taxes collected as a pie. Reassessments don't change the size of the pie, they simply help ensure it's sliced fairly. What happens next? Once the reassessment is complete, you'll receive a notice with your updated property value. If you have questions or believe the assessment is inaccurate, you'll be welcome to schedule an informal review with the assessor's office. If adjustments are warranted, they will be made accordingly. The first impact of the reassessment will appear on the September 2027 school tax bill.
So is there any questions from board members? Because we're gonna need to know this, because I'm sure you're gonna be asked about it. This is a very good synopsis of what's gonna happen. Letters are gonna be going out on 1st of September. So that's why August, we're gonna get this in the Homer News for August. So people understand, hopefully will understand why we're doing this. The other part of this, town of Homer is that I believe the number was, our assessment was 63%. We need to be close to 100. And where that makes a difference is, like, as you're gonna see when we get to our sales tax divide, we get hammered because we're not at 100%. We're at 100%, we will collect more sales tax. That's one of the things. Any New York State subsidies that we get or anything is based on your property values and stuff. So we need to get it up, and then the state, as far as I know, doesn't demand it, but they start frowning on it if you get too low. And we're down where it needs to be. That's why we decided a year ago to enact this. So that is coming, and it's gonna start the 1st of September. Mailings are gonna go out, so we're gonna have a lot of mailings coming up, and they generate everything and it goes out. But if you're getting asked questions on it, I mean, I think this is a good little synopsis to be able to explain it to, so people, you know, try to understand what we're doing. We're not looking to take in more money, because it was explained here, we need X number of dollars to run the town. So if the assessments go up, so our tax rate will come down. It ain't gonna happen this year.
When was the last revale?
I'm guessing 10 years ago, like everything else here.
Kevin? You know, probably.
I think it was
Or Barry?
I think it was longer than 10.
Probably.
How long?
I think it was longer than 10, Brian.
Well,
You were still in the board.
This is a big,
I know, but
Alright.
I'm old, I forget.
this is a big undertaking. It's quite expensive. I mean, it's costing the town quite a bit of money. And of course, as everybody, and somebody don't always realize this, the village is part of the town. And so we oversee it for the village also. And a lot of people don't grasp that concept. The village is in the town and it's part of the town. And it's amazing how many people don't grasp that. Even though they're two separate governments, but they are part of the town of Homer. So, and it affects the village, we control it, but you know, it's just a big team effort here. And it needs to happen. It's better for all of us. So, any questions on that? I was wishing Brian would be here tonight, but he unfortunately couldn't make it.
How did we get that low?
nobody ever wanted to tackle it, that's all I can say, so that's where we're at. But, Brian, you gotta respect.
But Mr. Supervisor, I mean, there has been a dramatic increase in the sale prices of houses.
Absolutely,
This is
absolutely.
very hard.
We were fairly close for a number of years, and all of a sudden, the last 3 or 4 years, it really started spiking, and that's when we decided we had to do something.
Is it because of the sales tax?
No, the other thing was with COVID and everybody trying to flee the city
Oh,
and all the rural house prices jacked up, skyrocketing. The assessor office did not want to do an assessment at that time because he knew
right.
they were inflated prices. So he wanted to wait a couple of years till after COVID died down so that we could get a more normal assessment of what it should be, not an inflated in a hot market.
That's good. Thank you for letting me know that.
Okay, so we'll move on. So Mike McMahon was supposed to be here last month and then this month, but something come up. So we did have this letter last month. Do we need, is everybody good with just reading this letter? I just like having all our planning board, ZBA, and everybody that meets at least once or twice a year, just check in with us and just give us an update what's going on. We're gonna have a meeting tomorrow night with the building project starting. Pat and I talked, so the village and the town planning boards meet the same night. We used to have 2 rooms, that's not possible now, so we come to an agreement, the village is gonna meet half an hour earlier, and the town's gonna meet a half an hour later, so that way we can make this happen in this room here. So we gotta accommodate each other to our building projects. So with that, okay, the next one is endorsement of businesses. So in here, as you know, when I reached out to everybody, we did an endorsement for Trinity Valley. This was the letter, does everybody have the letter? And we just wanted to talk about it a little bit tonight, not so much this letter, you can ask any questions you want on this letter, but Kevin, you wanted to address some of this too?
Well, I like to read it into the record.
Yeah.
Okay, because if the town's gonna do an endorsement, for a business, I wanna do that. Okay, so this is a request, by the town, from, Trinity Valley LLC, to apply for a grant, and they needed support of the, town of Homer board, for which they, own and operate their farm and, milk processing. So to whom it may concern, the town of Homer board is writing this letter of support for the grant proposal developed by Trinity Valley LLC for a 2025 Northeast Dairy Business Innovation Center Dairy Processor Modernization Grant. Trinity Valley LLC has established itself as an exceptional milk production facility here in the town of Homer and Cortland County, and with a widely known reputation for their quality dairy products. They not only distribute their fresh milk products across the CNY area, but they are also vital ambassadors of the dairy to the town of Homer and all of central New York. Offering a family-friendly events and educational tours of their facility, the town of Homer board fully supports this growing operation and any efforts to expand the existing production plant in this beautiful valley. I think it's been said out, but I would like to read it in the record and get it,
Receive and file?
No, I don't think
You
so.
write it into the record, so.
Well, I'll read it into the record and, make a motion that we authorize Supervisor, Park to, send this letter of recommendation out on behalf of Trinity Valley.
That's an after fact, it's already
I
done.
know, we'll do it on the pro tem comment. Somebody give me a second.
Second.
Okay.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So Brandon, did you get the grant?
Just submitting it Friday, so I'll
Okay.
find out.
Alright, great. So Mike, we were going to pass you,
Can
we'll
you
back
build
up
down
to you, I'm
there
glad
now?
you're here, you're up next, Mike.
Is that, all right? That's a challenge?
So this is the update for the town board from the planning board, and, you didn't read the last time I gave you that, did you?
No, we didn't read it yet,
Okay,
and we
okay.
just went over it briefly, we didn't even read it, so I'm glad you're here, so the timing's perfect.
Okay, perfect, alright. So, normal subdivisions and lot line adjustments of basically what we've been dealing with at the board level, with the exception of Houghton Hill Solar. We heard back from the developers and they will be coming before us, 2 weeks from tonight. That particular proposal brought up a discrepancy between the
USDA and New York State Ag and Markets definition of soils of productivity significance. This led to the formation of the Cortland County Solar Task Force to charge the county planning department with examining the solar laws of all the townships in the county and building a template of solar laws which all the towns could either adopt or refer to and going forward. So what has been discussed so far at the task force level includes first demanding battery storage to be part of every solar installation. Solar in central New York is only 10% efficient due to cloudiness, nighttime, and winters. Batteries will address that low percentage and make power available during times of limited output. Two of the people on the task force are battery engineers from Intertech. They reported that new batteries are being developed that are much smaller and run much cooler than lithium ion. This not only makes the project more efficient, but also eliminates the voltage spikes, which are known to be detrimental to computers, as well as stray voltage, which can raise havoc in dairy cattle. Second, using the USDA soil advisory level, which includes the 5 top mineral groups instead of the 4 top, which are current standard for the town of Homer. And that was New York State Ag and Markets level was going to mineral group 4. USDA goes to mineral group 5, so that's what we want to adopt.
What are they? The minerals, what are they?
Well, for instance, Brian,
You're looking at drainage and.
So the mineral group, so
in
the
the soil.
valley flats
Yeah.
that we have, the Palmyra gravel,
Yeah.
that would be mineral group A.
Okay.
On up, you go up the hills,
Right.
so that, like that land up on top of Houghton Hill is, their best soils are mineral group 5. And because, yes, hard pan. Yeah, and because in Homer we protect through mineral group 4, that's how they're able to slide that in there. So anyway, so we're looking to change that to move up to USDA standard of mineral group 5. Third, putting more emphasis on densification, visual impact, and migratory corridors when siting these projects. Next, demanding third-party inspections in the following areas paid for by the developer. Electrical inspections annually, engineering inspections and review annually, erosion and sediment control, as well as vegetative screening reviewed annually by Soil and Water, and soil sampling by a qualified agronomist, with soil sent to the Cornell Soil Lab before the project starts and every 5 years after. Note of interest, Ore-Ida is the largest potato buyer in the United States. They are no longer buying potatoes on ground that's been decommissioned that had solar panels on because they were finding heavy metals in the potatoes. So,
That's interesting.
Yeah. Strictest possible decommissioning standards to be researched by the planning department, including setting up an escrow account beyond the bond for decommissioning costs to pay for electrical and code inspections. And last, tie the escalator associated with the decommissioning estimate to either the CPI or the COL with a minimum 2% per year. The planning department will develop a checkoff chart for towns to use when these projects come forward. Otherwise, the Comprehensive Plan Review Board has met with Rich Cunningham from Toma Development and worked on a questionnaire with him to begin putting side rails on a plan which Toma will put together for the committee to review and make recommendations at our next committee meeting. And that's what I got from the planning board.
Any questions?
Any questions?
I think this is great. We went to that one planning on the solar. When was that? It was in early spring.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was great that all the towns are gonna work with the county planning to develop a comprehensive overview for everybody. It seemed like everybody was getting in on that, weren't they?
Yeah, but at our first meeting, it was a little bit discouraging because Freetown was the only other person that sent a.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean, there was me from Homer and Jim Weiss from Freetown. That was it.
Was that one night? It was a great turnout.
I know it was, wasn't it? Yeah, we had a lot of people there, but we did have the engineers there. We also had, 3 zoning code enforcement officers. And, he couldn't make it this time, but he's gonna be on the committee, and that'll be an electrical inspector. And, soil and water, Amanda will be on it as well, so. There was a lot of absenteeism that day, but the planning department is really working hard on this and putting together some good stuff, so.
Well, that'll be great. Appreciate you being part of that. That's,
Very good.
important for our town because we're so rural. The other ones we're talking on solar, so our big solar project is kicking off. They plan to be in operational here within a year or so. October 9th, they're gonna be planning a community open house event. And that's gonna be coming up October 9th. So we're in discussions, with them. We gotta reveal I want them to send us all the roads they're gonna be traveling. We gotta look at our road policy to make sure. I told them I want our roads, if they're on it, I want them mapped and put back in the same, if not better condition, which they agreed to. But they were contacting the Homer Fire Department to see if they could rent that hall. So I let Doug know that they would be calling them, but that was to be rented, or whatever other venue. So that'll be coming up, so we'll keep everybody appraised. I don't know if you heard much about that yet, Mike? On that one, I don't know, there's really not much to our local planning because it's been superseded by the state.
Yeah, you're talking about what used to be EDF.
Yeah, the Homer Solar.
AES or something like that. Yeah, we're working with them at the IDA as well, or.
So you know as much as I do.
Yeah,
Maybe
pretty
not
much.
more, but.
I know that, Kevin and I went over, the packet that we'll be working on the night of the 27th with the planning department, or with the Houghton Hill Solar there. And he's, we marked out a bunch of stuff that we've got questions for that they'll have to answer. You know, and part of it, I know one of the things that's on his list is, access roads that will be, wide enough and sufficient for emergency vehicles. Cause I guess he's already dealt with 2 fires in Cortland County at solar installations, and so that's one of the things that he wants to make sure gets done right.
Good.
Yep.
Okay.
We're on it.
All right, so there's no questions, we'll move on. Thank you, Mike.
Yep.
So personnel policy, I know I keep making changes to this, but I told you this was a living document as we run into things, so we just printed out the 1 page. So it's on page 4, and it all has to do with our personnel. So you've seen in red, I wanna add overtime is applied after 40 hours work, does not include vacation, sick, or personal days. That was never been spelled out very clearly. That's a standard procedure, you need to work 40 hours before overtime kicks in. So we just wanna make it official in here, that's the way, I don't know if it's always been operated that way, but since I took over, that's the way we're operating, and I wanted to see it incorporated this way. The other one is all highway employees will be given a $300 voucher to buy personal protective clothing in August of each year. Right now, they get a addendum of 200. Boots and everything have gone up, so we used to say boots, and I said, well, they don't always need boots. So what we've been doing is we get a gift certificate from Homer Men and Boys. Spend your money locally, go down, if they need coats, coveralls, or whatever, as long as it's spent on something for work. So I wanted to raise it to 300 starting next year, and I just wanted a policy because everybody's, well, when are we gonna do it? We never had a written policy. So I had September 1st, but then the clerks pointed out August, Homer Men and Boys always has a good sale, so maybe that makes more sense, which it does. Get more for your money. So I would like to have these, I need a motion and have these 2 approved, and become part of our personnel policy.
Mandatory steel toe?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the personnel changes for the overtime specification and the increase to $300 voucher for protective clothing.
Second. Any other discussion on that?
Is camouflage considered work related?
I don't know, Kyle, does that consider? As long as Kyle can see, I guess he doesn't.
Depends on what job he's on.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. The other thing I will tell you on this, we got 3, 4, 5 other municipalities are all asking for our copies, so we send them our personnel policy, our procurement policy, because they're pretty much mimicking what we're doing, they're just taking the town of Homer, Rockland, and towns, whatever, which is fine by me, they call and say, can we have it? So we'll send them the updated Virgil, Spafford, or not Spafford, Scott, there's a couple others that are asking for it and using it, so it's all good to share. Kyle, you're up.
Yeah, that, you were gonna wait till the second part of the, to do the truck.
Yep, you're gonna do your.
Okay. The, we've been working on a facility over there since the springtime, but they're wrapping that up, it's coming along good. Got everything, everybody's being, it's going great, really.
Your garage?
Yeah, we're, putting the cold storage, turning that into heat, like, and that kind of translates to this whole truck issue thing that'll be coming up here in a minute, but if I can elaborate on the facility, having more space to work on stuff properly, safely, when you're going from, I didn't really realize it until I started working in that department, that when you're going from, when the trucks are warm, the fluids are flowing, there's so much equipment on these vehicles, pumps, hydraulic fluid, hoses everywhere, that having them inside, having the fluids hot or warm, that you see a lot less problems. So it's gonna just, the money we spend now is gonna save us in the long run with the government alone. But that's coming along good. They'll be wrapped up this month or shortly into September. We got a roofer guy coming for our existing building. We got 10 holes in our roof there, but we're fixing all that up. Facility, we're working on that, cleaning, organizing, fixing, inspecting the grounds. We're organizing that, getting inventory, cleaning, inspecting. As far as road work, our heavy road work, our chip money road work, we're gonna be finishing that up hopefully tomorrow if the weather holds out. Learned a lot. We did our due diligence on what we need to do, what's the bang for our buck, on, make sure we spend the money wisely. So we've learned a lot. We'll change some stuff. We got a lot to improve on. We know that between, our equipment and a lot of storm damage, old storm damage, new storm damage, ditch work kind of falls into this. We get these lower side of these culvert pipes in, but while we're fixing on that stuff, ditch work we're always working on. We're helping other towns out as well this time of year. They're helping us, trucking mainly. We did screened our grinder pile. We just regraded all our seasonal roads. We know the roads are decent rolled. We know we got vegetation problems. We can't there's limited supply for this equipment. We don't have this equipment. We put something together in the future to get it. We know it's gotta be done. We did some road sign, 120 road signs a couple months ago. We gotta do one more, Kevin, or Tim. Inform me that we missed one. Thank you. You're welcome. Potholes, we know we got a lot of, Krill Road's a good example of a road that's gonna be done. We're gonna redo a road, but in the meantime, it's gonna have to be patched. And,
Patch away, buddy.
We'll be doing some culvert work here coming up. We just got a couple big bridge projects done that have been 2 years.
Thank you for that, yeah, Bridge on Ayers Road, I signed up, it had been done a year ago, and
the logistics alone of getting, talking to all the landowners, like 8, 9 o'clock at night, making sure everybody's soil and water, DEC, five homeowners, what we're gonna do for traffic, how we're gonna do the job, it's under a bridge, what we gotta have for material. So.
That came down from the state or the county?
State. The state has they have to inspect all the municipalities, it's up to them. and they read about. Got that done. It was huge to get, we've inspected a lot of our culverts, big culverts. We've got some projects, redo some floors in these big culverts. But, we're always doing vegetation management signs, mowing. Our mow tractor we're in need for that. We got one coming now. That thing is, our old one is finally croaked, breaks every day. So that's a good example of, it's a good gateway to, this mower is a good gateway to this truck thing and the issue, and so is the facility. If I can elaborate on that not just for Tim, but for everybody,
Yeah.
if you wanna get right into the truck. We're looking at a new truck, a 10-wheeler.
Alright, so hold on just a second. So any questions on his report? And then we're gonna go into the 10-wheeler. Sorry, I didn't know, I thought you were gonna talk.
Yeah, there's, again, if you want me to, I can elaborate, I can talk all day.
No,
long.
is there any,
I was told
we don't want you
last
talking all day. so
night-
let's-
You
Why
said
you keep
something.
pointing at me?
Any questions for Kyle on his maintenance before we get into the truck?
It won't be for the lack of effort, I can guarantee you.
There's guys are doing a fantastic job. As a matter of fact, Kyle and I, we sat down with our highway department. I did spreadsheets for them to show, because there's always some grumbling out there about pay and stuff. So what they get per hour, other towns are paying more than we're paying. So I got a good rapport with all the supervisors. I talked to a bunch of our other town counterparts, got their numbers back, and then I sat down with ours. I did a spreadsheet for them and showed them. So one of our guys, that they're making $25 an hour with their insurance, everything, and our costs that we have to match and stuff, puts them up around the $50 to $52 an hour is what they're actually making, because it was based on 2,080 work hours, and then you take off 3 weeks paid vacation, 10, 11 personal days, so they got it right down. So it was a real eye opener for them. So we sat right there, we went over everything, gave them a copy. I think everybody went away happy with a new perspective. That. Then I told them, if you want to see more in your paycheck, we can make that happen, but I'm going to take it out of your insurance or someplace, because we got a limited number. Every other town, they all say, we can't believe you paid their whole health insurance and HSA. But we pay them a little less an hour, so we gave them more in their pay, then we'd have to take it out someplace else to keep it balanced. So when they looked at their total package, they really got an understanding. Family plan health insurance with an HSA is $25,000 a year. I mean, that's a big bullet if they want to start paying this out, and they're not have to pay anything. So they got a new perspective saying, you know what, I think we're pretty good the way we are. We're gonna have to do cost of living and make a couple of adjustments here, but once they understood it, am I right, Kyle? Everybody?
Yeah, we're, and again, that's big. It's fair. We got good guys.
Right, we wanna take care of them, and, and that doesn't include their overtime and stuff, just their straight time, so they got a new perspective. I do that with my own employees every year, so they get a better perspective, insurances aren't cheap, everything adds up, and then they really see. We've heard, well, I can't eat benefits. No, we agree you can't, but if you see your whole package, they got a better perspective. So it really helped.
Well, they might not have to pay taxes on overtime anymore either.
Well, that I don't know anything about right now. I'll let our company figure that one out. So, I know it's changed. Okay, with that, any questions on any of that? Well, Kyle's been working hard, and there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. There's just tremendous amount of stuff going on behind the scenes to make everything happen. And appreciated, Kyle, all the hard work you're doing. He puts in a tremendous amount of hours. So the next thing we're going on to, we mentioned it last month that we need to buy another dump truck, our other equipment. So Kyle, I'll let you jump in. Explain what's going on with our trucks.
We've got, so like I say, this mower is a good, and the facility is a good segue. We have 2 trucks that are, they're old, and they need a ton of work to them. Now, I didn't realize this until I started plowing and working for the department, and through the years and talking with them. These trucks, you're pushing up to 5 feet of snow up in the drifty spots, or you're pushing snow uphill deep. The trucks are overloaded with all the equipment on them. they make a joke, everybody makes the same joke, oh, 1 mile on a regular vehicle is 1,000,000 miles on a 1 mile on a municipality truck's like 1,000,000 miles for, so. Like the mower, we kept that too long, it was kept too long, it wasn't maintained. The trucks that we have, these two older trucks, I got prices on new equipment for these trucks. The equipment alone is between 100 and 150,000. That's the absolute lowest. Now, we can fix some of that up, but, it's still on an old truck. That's just the equipment's 150,000, 100,000. So we have two trucks that are old and the equipment is shot on. So every time these trucks break, your whole department is shut down. We get back, we start out at 4 o'clock in the morning, we get back at 8. We have to get out of the truck, not take a break, get right after the broken truck, start figuring out what's wrong with it. And that day after day is something you have to adjust. You gotta run these things to Syracuse. There's a logistic nightmare, there are availability issues. It's $200 an hour to wrench on these things. $5 grand, $10 grand every time you bring it up there. Oh, we'll do local here. No, they're not the dealer. They don't have the, okay, we gotta have the tool, we gotta go to the dealer, so Syracuse. Anyway, so we take these two old trucks with the whooped equipment and buy a new truck that's set up right. It's got the right equipment, it's got the warranty, it's, doesn't need to be paid for until 2027, but that's.
So the other thing that we're looking at with the trucks, as Kyle was explaining, we have bought some used trucks in the past. We got one from Scott. That's worked out, but we've also, we paid 77,000 for it. I think we've ended up putting another 30 into it. We
got 28 back into it. We got super lucky with that truck, and also finding used trucks, it takes hundreds of hours of me on the internet.
Right, and our other trucks, we've been doing tremendous amount of repairs and a lot of money, so. Fix the boxes, because he's trying to keep everything interchangeable with his boxes and buy the better. For whatever reason, we got some inferior boxes that don't match with the other ones, so stuff isn't as interchangeable. We're trying to correct that. Tracy is where he did his due diligence and got some prices, Tracy's state bid. So what we're looking at, the truck is a 2026 Western Star. It's $189,850, that's for the cab and chassis. The equipment that goes on it, that would be your sander, your plows, your tower, everything else, the dump box, and that's $144,749. So we're looking at a package price of $334,599. If we order it now, we will have it supposedly for the next plowing season. It will come in anywhere from November to January. They'll push hard to get it in November. The beauty of going with Tracy, they're a one-stop shop. They have the better equipment that Kyle wants. They'll do the whole job there.
We have the equipment and the truck.
Yep.
It's a one-stop shop. This is the backbone of our, for 5 months, these trucks are plowing the road, trying to keep the roads open. Plus
Can I ask what year the old trucks are?
It's a 8 and a 10.
Okay. So what's the guarantee that you're gonna maintain it to the standards it needs to be maintained to? Not saying you're not going to, cause these ones weren't.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
that's what I'm asking.
That's a great question. Today we just had a company actually, so we have a new policy or a new way to, we just had a company come in, it's called Crown. They come in, they do your whole fleet. They wash these trucks professionally in the springtime or whatever time of year you want with a salt neutralizer. And then they apply this, it's a film, it's an undercoating, it's like an in-between. It gets into all the backs of the electrical ports and everything. It replaces the water in the moisture. We've tried it on a couple of our other trucks in the past, it works good. We've talked to some of the other towns. So with that being said, is, it's sort of top down. I make sure these guys are doing their jobs, what it comes down to. Say, hey, this new equipment, make sure it's, check it out in the morning, make sure everything's good to go, make sure you're driving it, not beating it.
One of the other things that we got in a safeguard now that's working better, unfortunately, and this is not a knock on John Phelps or anybody else, but he ran a whole different, we couldn't get information, he wouldn't come to the town board meeting, ran like his own little kingdom, and I'm not slamming John, John's one of my best friends. Kyle, we got a great rapport, we're talking all the time, we got Caleb as an intermediate going in, so we got a lot better communication, we know what's going on, we're talking, Kyle and I talk almost every day, what's going on. Not that I'm telling them what to do, but just keep me informed so I can make better decisions for the town board as financial. Working extremely well, and that's the type of relationship we really gotta strive going forward, communication. I mean, my business really lends well to what he's doing, I'm not always gonna be here, but Caleb lends into that. Just that communication to your town board is hugely different. If the town board remembers, all of last year, we never seen John once.
I come to all the meetings, I'm there at 6 o'clock with the guys, making sure they have something to do, know what they're doing, make sure they're doing it right. We know what we can improve on everything all the time, we're looking to do that, but making sure we can do it.
So that's the only safeguard I can tell you.
No,
We're gonna try to do better.
Yeah, I'm just, No,
absolutely.
Every 10, 15 years, you should get a new truck anyways, I mean.
Well,
and
that's
you
one
know,
of my,
right.
We have a fleet of these things.
The state pays you every 10 years, you're supposed to rotate or whatever.
Yeah, and these trucks get used hard, like
No,
you
I
said.
agree with that, I just.
So town board, any questions for our town board? You got questions on this truck? If you want to know all the specs, I can read everything off to you. It's a heavy duty truck that Kyle spec, it's a Western Star. Tracy is one of the better dealers. When we take trucks to Tracy, they're in, they give us quotes, they CC me on the quotes and Kyle. International, their turnaround isn't quite as good. For whatever reason, Tracy gets us in and out very quickly, which is important in the winter.
The service is top notch.
And,
this truck is not just replacing two trucks, this truck's way better power, comfort, safety. We just took a truck up there that hasn't been taken care of. They pull it in the shop, the whole duals come right off the truck. Now, moving forward, we're getting back into, the door's always open down there. Come on in, we'll show you.
Is the plan to sell one of the other trucks,
So-
or replace it, so we've got a surplus to go towards it, like we have? on the other one?
Absolutely.
Or are you gonna sell both of them, or just one of them?
I don't know yet, because we have to get this truck first, and whatever happens in the meantime, yes.
We'll
we'd like-
surplus trucks as we can.
Yeah.
That might
Yeah,
change
offset,
though, so
yeah.
we haven't put anything in stone
Do you
because,
have a rough idea what either of them might be worth?
yeah, that's a big swing. 50 would be the max on
Per?
those trucks.
Or
For two?
For two or
Per
per?
one truck,
per
we
one?
wanna keep, the other thing that we've learned is through the years, everybody, this is across the board, these trucks go through, you gotta have a backup truck. Now, we restructured our plow routes, and we got rid of a 10-wheeler and a guy for the winter. And without taking away from the town's residents, we'll be able to take care of the roads quicker because of getting rid of that.
Well, we dropped the county plowing their roads for them. It just didn't price a lot for us. We made that decision in the spring.
You're not doing any of those anymore?
We're not doing any county roads now. So anyways, back to the truck. Any other questions on this truck?
Yeah,
And-
quick question, Kyle,
Yes.
what's the service life? What's the service?
So
life?
that's the other thing, thank you very much for bringing that up, because I missed that, and that was a huge part of, this truck is set up with stainless box, which we've never done, it's a little bit more money. These boxes will rust out, they're hauling salt, and the truck's just, so it's got all stainless steel lines and stuff underneath for the equipment, sanders going off the back. It doesn't really cost that much more either. the stainless box. So long story short, the service life, if we properly maintained with this undercoat, wash them, make sure they're adjusted, you know. Yeah, maintain the thing, make sure the guys are maintaining them. You could, you know, 10 to 20, I know that's a huge, the other part of that is when it makes sense to get rid of it. If you're gonna have a fleet of trucks, you know, are you gonna have parts or payment? You're gonna have a full-time mechanic, the softwares is $200 an hour to work on these things.
So you got a solid 10 years and then you figure it out.
We are always go
Year
off
by
the
year.
10-year mark, and that's been the industry now is, the stuff's getting better, and we set this truck up better 20 years.
Keeping it
We're gonna
inside.
have to, what's that?
Keeping it inside.
Keeping it inside, that's where that translates to our new building, the money that is gonna save us cleaning. We're going out with stuff, we're trying to push frozen fluid through, there's hoses everywhere, these trucks are just.
And they're a hydraulic nightmare.
They're compared to, I'm not that old, but doing construction and farming, these things are like, severe conditions.
Well, Sarah has two self-propelled harvesters, so I think she's
So probably.
got a pretty good idea what.
I don't wanna say too much, cause.
We buy all the old trucks the towns get
feel
rid
like-
of.
Yeah, I know,
Down the road.
so I feel like it's,
We're gonna keep it marginal to get this truck.
So what do you got for warranties, bumper to bumper?
yeah,
What do you-
so the truck, 5-year, it's 7-year, was it, Mike? It says on there somewhere. I should say on there, say somewhere in the email or,
Here's a bigger question, is it in?
5-year, 100,000 mile engine warranty, 3-year, 200,000 chassis warranty, which the truck will never see 200,000 miles in 3 years, not speedo miles, but you know what I'm saying. It's a decent, warranty for that type of equipment.
So for 3 years, we don't gotta worry about nothing.
5 years on the engine, 3 years on the 3 years on the chassis, yeah, you're correct, Kevin.
we took one of them old trucks up to Tracy Road Equipment 5 times this winter.
But I'm gonna make this disclaimer, that does not include, that includes cab and chassis, not the equipment that's on it. That warranty is different, cause you're snow plowing, you hit a bridge, you hit a pavement, you bend something, they can't warranty that, okay? So I just want everybody to understand that isn't everything, that's the cab and chassis. It's a Western Star, it's a beefed up county, it's 20,000 front, 46,000 pound rears, that's the heavy duty. Most of your tractor trailers are 12,000 front, 40 rears, so this is a well-spec'd truck for what they're doing, because these get used. You put tire chains on, 80,000 pounds on them, they're working.
Yeah.
So this
Net, what's the price, net, trade-in?
there's no trade-ins, we're gonna do a cash deal at 334,500.
Later on, see, we have to get this truck, they're 2 years out.
So one of the options, I talked to the dealer, they're gonna get the truck in, so we've got an option, so the truck is $189,850. When they get it in, if I wanna pay for it, when it comes in, we can deduct $3,000. Like, we're gonna have to look at that, because we try to keep our money in the interest bearing account. I've gotta figure out where we're farther ahead, if I spend $189,000, am I better off letting it sit to the first of the following year and I gain more interest that way, so I'm gonna be looking at that. So that's an option we have, and he understood that, and we can pay for this in 2027. We're gonna be budgeting, as we're doing our budget, we'll see if we can do it in 26 or 27, we gotta figure out what's gonna make the most sense.
So that's a rebudget? You can't pay for it this year?
I don't wanna pay for it this year.
Okay.
And how much do we have in the equipment account?
Well, we don't have a whole lot left in the equipment account this year. We spent, we bought the tractor, we got some other stuff we have to get this year for repairs and stuff, so our equipment account, I don't remember the exact number that we got left in there. You got 60,000.
63,000 something, yep.
So any carryover, of course, whatever Kyle doesn't spend, we just move it forward into the reserves for equipment line, so we're always building that, so if I wanted to, we could pay cash for that right now, but I don't want to because I wanna draw as much interest as we can, and I don't wanna pay it up front. I want that truck here, inspected, and then we'll give them a check.
But there was a comment, maybe we're spending a little bit, the money wasn't spent in the past, in my opinion. So we're gonna have to get out of the hole to get where we need to be, and then the money will be.
Right,
We're never gonna get, the roads aren't gonna get taken care of, the vegetation's not gonna get taken care of. Every time we do something, we gotta bring it to Mike, it's been tremendous. He's wrenched on stuff every week. Bring it up, just to keep us going. And I don't know why I do.
So then you're gonna allocate a fund balance for next year?
Yeah, we're gonna start working stuff in for it,
Cover
absolutely.
that cost.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a,
Cause we don't have to pay it till next year, and there's nothing down this year, we just gotta place the order this year so we can get this locked in, so we can have it a year from now.
And then the extra equipment, is that right behind it, or is that one or two before?
The truck will come in faster than the equipment, but as soon as they place the order, get the truck, then as soon as the equipment, it's all at Tracy's, then they'll start mounting equipment instantly. Before, we used to get the truck at one dealer, and then we'd have to take the truck to another dealer, get the box on, another dealer, get the plows on. And it just, that's why we got delayed almost a year on that one truck, because of those kinds of issues. This is one-stop shopping. Take it up, we go pick it up, Kyle's happy, we pay for it.
Do you have a total repair bill so far for the last year or 2 years on the current trucks?
Yep, I can get all that information for you. Yeah.
It's up there.
Huh?
It's up
Yeah,
there.
well, it'd be nice to see the comparable, you spent
Absolutely.
50,000 repairing it this year.
Part of the equation though is the fact that you've gotta have equipment when you need it. You can't have two of them down at the same time.
Every time you don't, these old trucks, you don't know when they're gonna break. When they break, the whole, we gotta go plow, but we can't plow, cause we gotta rent, new equipment can do that. But over the years, the newer trucks that are taken care of, I'm not saying everything wasn't taken care of, but the newer trucks that are taken care of don't break down as much. It's just yes, they have all the records on how much we spent last year, but that is a small, what's the price on 5 guys?
Downtime, lost opportunity.
We're only one, we'll be in the truck 12 to 16 hours a day. Back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah,
The last thing you wanna be out is out in the cold, ripping these things apart, sleep deprived, you're just, I've bugged back and forth 8 million times with Mike, the guys, we've been thinking about this for years, how to proceed forward. We're gonna mix some used trucks in. We're not gonna get back to where we need to be.
So any thoughts from the board members? We can entertain a motion.
I'm listening.
I'll make a motion that we proceed with, the new Western Star dump truck.
The dump truck and the equipment for $334,000.
$334,599.
Need a second on that?
I would second it.
Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
And, you guys can come, anytime you wanna come down and look around, I can show you this stuff work, we just applied it, beautiful undercoat stuff, this stuff's gonna be, plus I'm right.
So Kyle, tomorrow you call them, you get the order, talk to Kyle Diener, have him draw the contract and get it sent down so we can review and get it signed and get this going.
Okay.
And then again, I'm gonna, as the chief financial officer, we're gonna decide what we're gonna pay for this, I'm gonna make sure it's the best for the town, so we're getting our best bang for our dollar. Okay?
Appreciate all the help and support.
Okay, so now we got 2 parts to this, so there's another part to this Tracy. Kyle's never gonna let us off easy here, but we need a new, for one of our trucks to keep it going for the next year, we gotta have a harder, stainless steel spreader, which is $15,124, and this will be interchangeable with the new trucks later on.
this is for the new truck, but we need it now for.
But we need it now so we can get through the next year.
You'll transfer it over once you get the new truck here?
Yep.
So we need to buy that now so we can get through this winter and have it in stock, and that's gonna be 15,000. We'll take that out of our current, repair budget.
Seems like chump change compared to the price.
Well, it's just,
What did you have?
we
Stainless
have our,
before?
again, I think the overall general, there's been a lot of talk on this, and I've wanted to clarify it from day one, as far as, we're basically at a threshold. We need to get above that. Everything just, we're like this. January 1st, we wanna get, if you don't properly maintain everything and spend a little money along the way, you're gonna end up at a certain point.
Understood.
So we need to get out of that point. What was your question?
All right, so anyways, let's get back to the business at hand
I've
here.
gone all day long, but.
I need a motion to
I'll
buy
make sure
this
it's clear.
stainless steel spreader for $15,124.
Did you say it was coming out of, the
So we
equipment
have one
account?
now.
Yeah, we'll get it over.
Brian,
Equipment or?
we have one now.
I gotta look and see where we got the money, I can move money around.
Mike's rebuilt it twice. That's the one Mike's rebuilt this twice in the
Not
last 2
stainless.
years.
It's not stainless.
Just to get us going.
But this will get paid this year, so that we
No,
don't have to
February too,
That's
so.
Go for it.
Anybody gonna make a motion, or we're gonna just let it die?
I'll make the motion. These guys are hacking
Okay.
back and forth up here like two women.
I thought that's.
Oh, that's on tape,
I'm
Rick.
screaming. Your wife can hear this.
Oh my goodness, I'm in trouble.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
To spend $15,124 on the new stainless steel.
That's correct.
Okay, second on it?
And coming out of either the equipment or the repair account,
Right, I wanna
We
make sure.
don't know which one yet.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There.
Aye, that was an aye.
Okay, Kyle, I'll get that order.
Okay,
All right, Kyle, go away.
thanks. I was gonna say, before you move on, I'm gonna.
Make sure you maintain this stuff, okay?
Everything in the department, the facility, Mike even came down and climbed down the roof, which I wasn't happy seeing him up on the roof. But
Not that old.
we,
I get on steel all the time.
it's always open down there. We'll show you what we're doing, where we came from. We've been cleaning for 6 months, trying to make it'll just transfer to the town. I try to run it like, spend the money wisely, but I don't.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. Thank you, Kyle. We're gonna
I'm
move on.
gonna head out if you're all set.
Well, no, sit right there for another minute.
Okay.
Cause now we're gonna talk about the
What he's gonna spend this month.
update on the new on the highway building. Kyle's already gone over a bunch of that. So the floor, of course, y'all know the floor's in, the siding's done, the lights are in, most electrical. He may be done. Is
The heaters are done.
The heaters are in.
The electrician's almost done.
And so we're gonna have this building wrapped up. You do need to stop down. If you guys get a minute, stop down. I mean, what a day and night difference. Our new overhead doors are in. It's a different building totally. It's well worth it. The only other thing that I would like to add is $1,450, which I didn't think about. None of us thought about is snow bars to go over our new doors. So when they're pulling out with the equipment, the snow doesn't come off the roof and bury somebody or bury the equipment if it's parked there. It's pretty standard. This would be just a change order for CCC of $1,450, and they can have it done. I think the last thing they need to do is insulate the ceiling. They'll blow that in, but they're waiting for all the electrical to be done, and then they can install the snow bars. And in that facility, other than getting the roof repaired, which we have the money in play, the money, we already have the quote and everything, so it's already been approved. That'll be happening in the next couple of weeks. I've been talking to the roofer on that, and that building will be in fairly good shape other than normal maintenance for the next 20 years.
Yeah, it really will be,
I'll hold you to that, Mike.
Okay. By 20 years, I'm not gonna have to worry about it. So I need a motion for, to put snow bars on for $1,450. It's a change order.
and the other thing is like, Tim and anybody else, if you, reach out if you, any questions, comments, concerns, anytime. I'm trying not to, I get it.
So can I have a motion to,
I'll make a motion for CCC to install snow mowers
We'll get, we'll see
for
what that-
$1,450.
Need a second? Those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So the total that we're gonna have in that project is approximately $234,000. That's your floor is doing this whole project. And that gets us in to very nice shape, because as Kyle was saying, last winter, when a plow went down, they got it in on a dirt floor. I even brought them down a heater because they were freezing to death because you couldn't shut the doors, you couldn't get in there to work. Working on, it was much needed. This is a great addition for the town of Homer. It's just making working conditions. And like I said, so this is really, we're just gonna have some minor maintenance to do to that. We got some grading we gotta replace. We may have to do some updates on the heaters in the old building, but that's gonna be very minor. So our major expense is behind us for a number of years on our building there. So, thank you all for that. So Kyle, you can leave now.
Thanks a lot.
Thank Kyle.
You're dismissed.
Thanks a lot. Good to see you.
Clerks, do you have any other?
Thank you.
DEC season has started.
What season?
DEC, hunting licenses. We've seen some people starting to trickle in. It's usually a little bit heavier once we start getting more in September. We're still working with the retention schedule to get some of our paperwork just kind of disposed, because it's been sitting up in boxes and taking space for way too long. We have a plan for the building, for all the offices to get together for Shred It to come and do one giant haul rather than calling Shred It, multiple times to come and pick up the old records that we don't have to keep. Donna is filing maps for the code enforcement officer that she had stumbled upon with Brooke downstairs when we were moving stuff around for the remodeling. She's almost done with that. She has been working on dogs for a while. Just getting that whole filing cabinet cleaned up because it needed it very badly. And Sweeney's Pest Control came back this week to spray the outside of the building because we had a spider problem. And the spiders decided to come inside, and they were falling from the air conditioning vents over the village clerk's desk. And he said that he was up to about 50 baby spiders. And I caught him in there last week with the vacuum. I caught him with the broom. So Sweeney's Pest Control came. They did the whole exterior of the building, and they went up into the balcony and they fogged. And then they also actually went into his office and did the corners and, basically the crown molding of his.
I can still remember.
Yeah. So hopefully that goes away. It actually started in our office, but Brooke and I just.
And chase them out, they're so fierce.
Stay
and
quiet.
they just left.
We didn't have it as bad as he did. We, I think, each killed maybe 4 or 5 apiece. I mean, 10 versus 50 to 60 is huge.
You didn't take them across that wall.
I don't know what happened. He was dealing with it for a good week plus. Brooke and I dealt with it, I think, for 3 days, and they just kind of disappeared. So maybe we were killing them too fast, so they decided they didn't want to be with us anymore.
My office was fine.
Good.
Must be Dan's got food in there.
I don't like it.
So hopefully that goes away. We did the same thing today, so that's good, because they just sprayed yesterday.
Okay.
Other than that, I think we're good.
Good. So our insurance policy, we're up for renewal, we need to renew it. So if you remember our procurement policy, we have to go out to bid once every 3 years, which we did last year with Valley. So there is an increase. This last year we paid $41,179.48. The renewal is gonna be $49,286.25, which is an $8,106 increase.
That's a lot.
Due to, some of it's due to just natural insurances are going up. We had to increase it, some of it happened because we had new trucks, so that upped our insurance premium some because of the top. And, with our deductibles, we had a new tractor, but also these buildings were underinsured. Now we got all this construction going on. Highway department building, now that that's fully renovated, is worth more, it's not cold storage. so that went up a little bit. This building had to get reassessed because of what it was valued for was nowhere near. It's still not at full value replacement cost, but you're never gonna do that, but we got a fair value. There's equipment replacement if the building burns down, we're covered for equipment in here to a certain value that should take care of our computers and stuff. So you can never be 100%, but everything is in line, been reviewing it with our Bailey, our insurance thing, so our next year's policy is gonna be $49,286.25.
Have you checked into somebody else?
We already did the, like I said, we go out to review every 3 years. You kinda gotta lock it in 3 years to get these better rates. I mean, they put it out to 7, 8 different companies last year. And it's hard to do it every year. I know even my business, we usually lock it in for 2 or 3 years to get the better long-term rates. Commercial insurance.
Okay, so this begins a 3-year term.
This will be year 2.
That's what I thought. Oh,
Yes.
year 2 already there.
Cause we rebid it last year, so we'll have 1 more year. That's your best way to get your best rates, and then we'll look at putting it out to bid again. So I need a motion. I just want this a motion that the board approve that this is what we're gonna be spending for our insurances.
I'll make the motion to accept the new rate. Once again, there's justifiable reasons why that went up, so I will make that motion.
For $49,286.25.
That is correct.
Okay. Second on that.
Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor say aye. Opposed? The other thing that I'm looking at right now, and that's gonna be a separate, that'll come out of the building, our building fund for doing it downstairs, is builder's risk insurance. That's gonna be a separate policy. I gotta see what that is. I just applied everything for that. So there's a gap in our insurance and with the contractors, because we've got 3 primes. The way when we went out to bid and all these bigger projects now we're going to get a GC. Well, the GC is just in charge of certain aspects. You got a plumber, that's a separate contract. Heat contractors is separate, electrical is separate. So there's not one umbrella that covers all this. Our insurance here will cover certain things, their insurance will cover. So what it means is, so say Beer Electric comes in and puts all this new wiring into place. Once we pay him, until we pay him, he has to protect that wiring and stuff. His insurance will cover. Once we accept it and pay him, then we are responsible for it. So if somebody broke in and stole it all after we paid them, or whatever happened, our main insurance is real iffy if we would cover. I sat down and spent an hour with our insurance agent today going over that. So we need builder's risk, which is pretty standard insurance that covers the gap if something should happen in the meantime. I gotta see what the cost of that is. I think we'd be foolish not to have it because we're responsible to 6,000 whatever people that we're gonna look out for their interest. And, God forbid something happened or somebody broke in here and stole copper or something. That does happen, unfortunately. So that's just coming up. I don't have many numbers on it. The next thing is, I know we approved the town hall parking last month, so I got a map here I wanna pass out to everybody because we gotta we gotta make these changes. There's a couple extra here if you guys want to come up and look at. So this is an area view from Google. I was trying to figure out how to do this, and then Heather got all excited and gave me a map, which was very good at this. And then I was back in my office tonight, earlier this afternoon. Where did I put that map again? I couldn't find it. So I got to Google, so she clued me in on that. So we took another snapshot. But thanks to, so what you're going to see, you see our building, you see the red. So that would be on the north side. What we're proposing to do is, we're not gonna have parking at certain hours in the slots for snow plowing. But where I got it red on the north side, There's 11 spots there. We wanna make it for the town and village employee parking for the clerks and everybody when they come in. That's where they're gonna park, designated parking. Wanna put signs up. You see the yellow red mark going on the south side, north side of the building, but the south side, there's 4 parking spots there. Wanna reserve them, call them customer, for visitor parking that needs to do business in the town or the village. They can park there. We're gonna have the handicapped in the back, 2 spots there that we gotta reserve. And then on the, south side, there's a handicapped parking spot and a couple parking spots there I'd like to reserve. This handicapped on the south side is for people that can still walk, but they can't walk very far. Some people do wanna go up the stairs. But we need to reserve them with the police department coming in and also all the construction, because I don't want everybody parking there with the construction, because they're gonna be coming in and out with trailers and everything else during the day during the construction period. And I think in long term, this is a good solution, not only for the construction period, but because the dynamics here are gonna change with the police department being there, there's gonna be more traffic. So I think we'll have a better control. We'll have a wide open parking lot in the back for everybody to park, to do police business, court business, but yet keep our, clerks and everybody that's involved with the town and the village in one nice, parking area.
So is the police gonna have a designated spot to park?
They're gonna be on the most likely gonna be on the other side, on the south side, right out in here. We gotta keep it
Where
coming.
the courthouse door is?
Yeah, coming this way, the courthouse door is still gonna have to be open for people to go in the courthouse in the 2 directions. I don't know how many cars they have, but some of their overflow, of course, will be in the back parking lot. But we'll figure that out, but they're gonna have to have 1 or 2 cars. If they're in here working and there's an emergency, they gotta be able to get out and go.
So basically, everybody in the town's gonna park out back from, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's still gonna be open for people to park.
No, but that's what I'm saying, I mean, the side's gonna be basically full on both sides.
Yeah.
Okay.
But right now, one of the dilemmas, it doesn't matter what time you see these cars here, those cars are there every single morning. I was here at 5:30 this morning, those cars are there. We got our neighbors, I know we're trying to be good neighbors, but they're gonna have to quit parking there and park down here. Cause I feel we need to designate these areas for flow control for our people and I don't wanna call them customer, our visitors, people that wanna do transactions here, because a lot of people come, especially during tax season. And they'll have a place out back to park. And I'd like to put up, signs to state that, so that when they come in, they're gonna park there. We did talk to Chief Pittman, and of course, Pat's been involved in this too, that it just seems to make the most sense. Questions, thought on that? It's not really gonna be a costly thing, we're just gonna, maybe $100 and some signs. We're gonna communicate well that this is what's gonna happen, and once construction's over, we can review things, we'll have to get the lot restriped and cleaned up next year and stuff, but it's striped now, and I don't remember how good the stripes are out there. If they're fine, we will do it in the future, but thoughts, concerns, or get approval to move forward with this? Move forward with it. Okay.
Looks good.
So somebody make the motion, that way we got it in the record.
I'll make the motion to approve the new parking, how do you want to call it?
Just the parking layout.
Parking layout during construction for the town hall.
Second. Any other discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, I'll get with the chief in the village and we'll get the signs mapped out, then we'll make sure they're matched with the village decor, we're not just gonna put some crazy thing up there. We'll get this happening, which brings me to, I'm gonna skip over sales tax for a minute, I'm gonna do the town hall update. So with our town hall update, we give you, plumbing contractor started today, the building is totally empty, everything is moved out. You'll notice there's a storage container over on the side here, we put any overflow in that storage container. We had a bunch of books, records, court records, that we have to keep. We're running out of time to get them everything separated. So I had a spare storage container, just brought it down, parked it there, they put everything in there, and then it can get sorted out in the next few months, and it'll be storage for this building. process. They did move with our highway department and they moved a lot of stuff upstairs. The village moved stuff, courts moved stuff, so we're jiggling stuff around and making it work. It's totally cleared out. We had a plumbing contractor start this morning. The main GC, that's gonna do the demolition and stuff starts September 2nd. I'm talking with air control quality, they gotta come in and set up air, it's gotta have a negative vacuum in here because there is some, what they call asbestos friable. So that's all gonna be controlled, special, company's gotta come in and remove that, but that's under part of Diamond and Field. The town, we're on the hook to hire the air control, that's gonna be a separate contract. So I've reached out, getting pricing on that, so we can get that in place, because they're gonna be starting running along the plumbers. As you see, there's construction going on in the back. They're gonna put the gas line in tomorrow, we're gonna have a new gas line running.
It looked like it was in,
No, they're gonna put it in tomorrow. As far as I know, they said Thursday.
There's a line sticking up next to the
Well,
building.
maybe they got it in today, or they got it this Saturday.
I saw that.
Okay,
So that's what they had left to do. Got it.
so part of that is with our plumber, that's why he's here early. Part of it is they've gotta get the new gas line run, they're gonna get the meter set, or ready to set. He's gotta do all his rough ends, because I told him this building can't be down for any more than a half a day as we get into cold weather, so that's gotta be ready. And they gotta turn this over, shut our gas off, get rehooked, so they're gonna get that done ahead of time. Our water line is too high coming in the existing facility. We met with Keith.
Yeah.
We met with Keith. We're gonna put a new water line with our plumber. They're gonna make it deeper so it doesn't freeze. We had that problem in the past. We gotta reroute where we're putting some of our fixtures that the engineers have designed. So we're working through all these little issues. It has been very, very busy for coordinating all this. Unfortunately for me, our engineering and stuff is, in my opinion, has dropped the ball that I've had to pick up because, well, we're not doing that, you gotta handle this. So I'm acting as our town of Homer GC right now, getting stuff coordinated and making this happen. But we got a lot moving and it's gonna start coming together very fastly, especially the 1st of September. We made arrangements for, as I said earlier, the planning is gonna be meeting up here. There's no more meetings downstairs. The seniors are down to the fire department. They worked out a deal with them very graciously. So everything is out, but a few appliances in the kitchen, which have been bought and they can't come out till the demo crew gets here and opens up the whole gate to get them out, but that'll be taken care of when it happens. So things are gonna be happening, and they're gonna be happening very quickly here within the next month. Our completion date is set for January, but I'm thinking more realistically probably the end of February. I'm hoping it's done sooner, but we're already starting to make decisions on, different appliances that have to go in and we have to make, so we got a little committee that's doing that as well, I think, just to keep this project moving. That'll be coming up more and more as well.
When they're gone, we're utilizing that for what?
So downstairs is gonna be remodeled. 2/3 of the downstairs will be for the village fire department.
Oh.
The other 1/3, what's it? Or not fire department, police department, I'm sorry. And the other 1/3 will be a new community, I call it a community/senior room, a community room. It's gonna be a boardroom, gonna be a little kitchenette down there, new bathrooms. It's just we're gonna have 2 very nice boardrooms because this building is in more demand than ever. So I think it's gonna be very nice, this project, when it's completed.
So the seniors are going out there?
Seniors right now are down to the fire department.
They will still be able to use the downstairs when we're done.
When we're done, I'm hoping that they are very comfortable down there and stay down there, because they're not gonna have as much room down here. But if they need to come back, we're gonna accommodate them, we're not getting those seniors. But I'm just thinking it might be better suited down there, but we'll deal with that in the future. We never
Make
say-
sure they know that.
Oh, that we've already had this discussion 20 times with them. All right, so I thought about going to executive session for sales tax, I decided not to. Here's some charts, you can pass them around. And I'm gonna explain to you what I'm facing this year on the sales tax. That we're all facing, but it's budget. So a week ago, I mean, the county has really dragged this out. We initially, we were under an initial 10-year agreement for
I
sales.
gave them all away.
Sorry.
So initially it was a 10-year agreement where we would have been at the 27% broke down. The city opted out of it, which they could after 5 years, so they opted out because they wanted more money. So once they opted out, that ended the sales tax agreement. So earlier in the year, they come up with a formula and they came to us as the towns. Basically the numbers you see here. So if you're looking down 27.62, that's what we're under right now. It's gonna drop first of the year 22.5%, following year is 20.5%. Next year is 18.5, 16.25. So we're gonna be taking a huge loss. That's gonna be a 4-year agreement. We originally met, I called all the supervisors together. We've had 2 big meetings here with all the county supervisors and mayors to discuss this. We originally agreed on the sales tax split of a combo, part property and part population. It seemed to be the fairest for all municipalities. Some take a little bit more.
Minus one.
Except one, Cardinal. Yeah. So anyways, we come up with that agreement. We spent, an hour or two and then we talked about it and we, all the supervisors, we all agreed that this is what we wanted to do. Then it got sidetracked with the city and stuff. They decided they weren't gonna agree to it. They were gonna preempt. So that threw a monkey wrench in everything. Then they decided they weren't gonna preempt. So at their last, and this took months and months, so we should have had an agreement in place. And so I kept pestering the county, said, we're all building budgets. We gotta know. We can't guess on budgets. So finally, they agreed, the city agreed to take 18%. The county is gonna agree to that either this week or next week. This isn't a final deal, but it is final because there's not much else they can do. They have to, and they assured me that they're gonna, not just me, they assured us at the group. I had a meeting here last week with all the county supervisors and the mayors, Pat's here and everybody, and they assured us this is what they're gonna run with. They did do the divvy indifferent, so they went to property for 2 years. So we're taking a little bit of a hit in favor of Cortlandville. Then they're doing the last 2 years in a combo. So you see, I lined in yellow, so right now we're getting approximately $1,142,752 a year in sales tax. That helps offset our tax base. Next year, we're gonna drop down to $985,541.99. But again, this is a guesstimate because if sales tax runs higher, we're gonna get a little more. If it goes lower, we're gonna receive less. So again, this is just a budget basis. We always figure conservatively. So that translates out, we're gonna lose $157,210.69 this year, which equates, I gotta raise our property tax a minimum of 40 cents to overcome that, just the sales tax. Then I'm gonna have natural increases like our insurance going up, our electric's going up, equipment costs are going up. So we're gonna be looking at between a 15 and 60 cent per thousand tax increase. So I'm just putting that out there right now. I know for the last 10 years, we haven't had to do it hardly more than a penny. Those days are over. I have no choice, and every year it's gonna go up, because you see every year we're gonna be taking a bigger and bigger hit. More of a hit. So every year, every municipality, this is every municipality's hit. Every municipality is in the same boat. Village people not only gonna take a hit from the village, they're gonna take it from the town, because the village is part of the town. With that being said, the county sat right there in that meeting and said they're gonna take that money and they're still probably gonna have to raise their taxes a minimum of 5%. So it's gonna be a very tough year. We're gonna work hard on keeping our taxes, as reasonable as we can, but I just gotta point out to you guys, I gotta start building budget right now, because I gotta present directly in October. I gotta vote on it in November. We got 2 bridges we gotta do something with. This building project is covered, we have money sitting in the bank. We do have some reserves, we're putting money toward bridges. So we got 2 bridges here, right here, we got Albany Street that we're gonna have some issues with, I've already been notified on that, so we gotta start budgeting for that. we got equipment that we gotta continue to update our equipment. We got roads, you know, we can't cut back on our road repairs. We'll try to keep that as stable as we can. We gotta make sure, you know, we gotta keep the town alive and moving forward without bankrupting everybody, so, it's gonna be a balancing act, but I have no choice, we gotta raise taxes this year, and we're gonna raise them for the next 4 years, I have no choice. So I just want you guys to know, because you gotta approve the budgets, but this is what we're facing, so 40 cents of that is right out of my hands, right out of the gate. I gotta get us back to 0, and then I gotta see what our other increases are, and go from there. Questions on that? So this is, you know, for your information, it's available, county should be voting, I don't think it's next week, do you remember when they said?
I thought they said either August 20th or 22nd, whatever.
Okay. That's in there, they almost have to approve this, because there is no other choice. Unless they take more from us. Now, they said this is gonna be a 10-year agreement, I don't believe it for a minute, I think at the end of this 4-year agreement, they're gonna be reaching into the pot and take more of it. That's my thought. So that's where we're at on sales tax. Any questions on that?
What are other counties' agreements with local municipalities?
Some counties don't share any of the sales tax. By law, the county doesn't have to share sales tax. It's their money. They have to share it with the city. Onondaga County, a number of years ago, took it, Pat, you wanna get?
Yeah, just, when you look at the numbers, and the county loves to say, we don't have to share any of the money with you, and legally that's correct, and they will point to other counties that share less money, but a lot of those other counties have other mechanisms in place to give sales tax money back to communities through either grants or other programs. So if, yes, the county and some of these statistics are true in that there is not a direct share, but in a lot of these other communities, there's indirect shares where it goes back. And the county's not even, our county is not even thinking about that. So they're just looking at the front end statistics.
Is there a way to get examples of that, or get information on that, like what other counties, is there?
Why, funny you should mention that. Yes, there is. So you can go to, oh, where is it? You, let's see, 9th highest tax rate of spending per capita among the 57 counties in New York outside of New York City. Cortland has the highest effective property tax rate per capita in the entire state. There's gotta, I knew that there was a way in here. I can get that information for you. There's, oh, here it is. Sorry, it's on the back page. You can go to See Through New York. This document not only compares us to similar counties to ours and some of our neighbors, but also ranks us in each category against the 57 non-New York City counties. All you have to do is Cortland County benchmarked. Open Book New York. This is a service of the New York State Comptroller's Office, and you can compare us to like 2 counties very similar in size and demographics using that. Also, you can compare us with Madison County, which is a neighboring county, but one with twice our population and less cost when you look at that. Let's see.
And they're run by a board of supervisors.
Say again?
They're run by a board of supervisors.
Ah, right, yeah. So, and there's another one that I can't explain right now, but I can discuss later.
Well, once again, what the county does is out of our control. I mean, I've sat here as county chair in the past, and very difficult to make changes. It's a whole different animal. They're under a lot of mandates that we don't have. The village has mandates that we don't have. So I understand some of their mandates, but their spending is out of control. They need to really, in my opinion. But regardless, this is what the hand that we're dealt. We got to make the best of it. We got a good rapport with the county. I'm not looking to do that. I talk to them all the time, reaching out to them. So we are, you know, communicating. That's all we can keep doing. So right now, we just gotta look out after the town and the village, and, you know, we got a good rapport, have very good rapport with all the other supervisors and all the other towns. So we work very well together, all the villages in the town. I mean, this is a great meeting. I'll just give you an example. The county calls a meeting of the supervisors, 3 of us show up. I call the meeting, we get 18. That's how many there is. So they respect coming here. They like to come here. They feel more at home here and not challenged like you do in the county. They don't like to go to the county for whatever reason. But on their path. So, but anyway, so it's good. I mean, we're gonna have no hard feelings with the county, but we gotta look after the town of Homer, and that's what we're trying to do. That's part of the reason we gave up the snow plowing, not as a retaliatory thing. It didn't pencil out. We penciled all the numbers. We sat, I sat for hours, what it was costing us, the miles, what they're willing to pay us. It did not pencil out, especially when we get rid of one 10-wheeler at $350,000, one full-time salary position. It was a no-brainer for what we were making there. So that's what we're doing. On the flip side, the good thing is we're now buying fuel for our gas truck from the county. We say offer that to every municipality. So we are getting fuel there. So I mean, we're still working together. We share equipment and everything. It's not the Homer, you know, fighting Cortland County. Cortland County's doing what they feel they need to do, but this is where we're at, and this is the line that they're putting every municipality in Cortland County. We're not alone, every municipality, and you can see the hit every municipality is taking. One of the municipalities told me what they're losing in sales tax is more than their budget, so they don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, you know what they're gonna have to do, they're gonna have to, but the sales tax was up pretty much offsetting their whole budget. So, it's gonna be rough out there, people are gonna be screaming at us, our clerks are gonna feel the heat come the spring, because people come here and pay their taxes, but that's the hand we're dealt. We're gonna try to communicate that, Pat and I've been talking, so after we get the reval done, the next letter going out is we're gonna do whatever, a whole page in the Homer News and on our website, explaining why the taxes are going where they're going, and what we're doing the best we can about it. Questions and thought on that? Okay, so the next thing up is just an update. If Sarah and Caleb, have you guys had any seasonal road?
Oh, we
I
tried
can't
to meet. I did get a copy of the Tom Candor current seasonal road law. I didn't read it over. We were gonna get together. Did you get a copy of that?
I just got everything from
I think what we're gonna have to do is probably see if Dan might be available to meet with us, because, the current law is a little over my head. I read through it. I'm gonna need some explaining on it, so we're just getting started. It's gonna be-
No, and this is gonna take a while. We don't wanna rush in it, and you guys may come back with the conclusion we don't wanna do anything different, but we need to review it.
Yeah.
Because, so everybody out there knows, so the town of Homer has very many miles of seasonal road use. So as you get people building houses, if they go 5 miles off from where we plowed and they build a house there, New York state law says we have to maintain that road. That doesn't mean we have to blacktop it, but we have to do a lot more maintenance. We can't say this road is closed from here to here. Other towns that face this, Candor is one good one, because they're more rural than we are. If we write a law that says, okay, you can build there, we're gonna do certain things, but don't expect us to plow it, don't expect us to do certain things. So I just asked, and that's what we talked about, I wanted our board just to look at that. I'm not saying we have to do anything like that, but with all our rural roads, and if Micron really happens, I think we're gonna be a gateway for being a better community. So, I'm gonna be honest with you, if we gotta plow 5 miles of road with one house on it, it's not cost effective at all for the town of Homer.
Will you stipulate if there's like 5 houses that get built on a seasonal road, you'll stipulate that?
We gotta look at that, and whatever they come up and make recommendations, I mean, that's gonna be a long process. We're gonna have to do a lot of talking with it. I don't know what the whole process is gonna look like. You'll probably have to go to the county and everybody else, but we gotta start the process someplace. Other towns have done it, and if the recommendation is we do nothing and we're gonna take care of everybody, so be it. But at least we gotta look at it. Because I brought that up, we have one that's up by Sarah, it's 0.6 of a mile off. That's never been plowed. We're gonna maintain it, but we did tell them we're not gonna blacktop it, but we do have to open it. And the law says it's gotta be wide enough so 2 emergency vehicles can pass. So if the roads aren't wide enough, that means we have to widen them. So we just have to, I just want us to review it. The attorney,
Just a couple quick items. Sounds like I will need to prepare a 2% tax cap law.
we're gonna far exceed it, yeah.
Okay, I'll get working on that. And then, Mike McMahon mentioned it, but the Houghton Hill Road solar is gonna be coming before the planning board in 2 weeks, if anybody's interested. See how that goes.
One of the things that we're gonna be looking at, there's host agreements with this big solar farm going up and, the big one coming up, and what that means, we will get some payments in lieu of taxes. So, we maybe get a little creative in how we're receiving that. When I mean creative, nothing underhanded or anything like that. But I think I'd like to see, we gotta see what's legal, because that's only gonna be for a number of years and that goes away, so I hate to build our budget around something like that. I think we can set that money going into account for future bridge and stuff repairs, and then that lessens what we have to take out of our budget, but we gotta look at that. The other option is, if that's gonna come to fruition in the next year, we could finance the downstairs and use that to pay the downstairs. I'm not really too keen with that, cause that means we're gonna be paying interest. We've already got the money set aside, so there's some scenarios coming up, and of course, you guys will be well involved in all that when that comes up, so we'll have some ways to offset some of our costs. Again, if we use that money to offset our budget, when that money dries up, then it's a huge jump again in the future, so I'd like to keep our taxes stable and try to put that money towards equipment and stuff, so that will lower just a little bit there, so that is coming up.
What happens to properties that had solar panels and tax base wise, what happens? They get taxed the same, they get.
Well, they get an IDA agreement, so they're basically paying, instead of taxes, they give us a pilot, yeah. They're off the tax rolls, they're not paying taxes. It's very, that's the only way that these things can happen, they're not paying taxes and it's very heavily subsidized.
So Homer, I believe, had the town opt out of RPTL 487, I think it is. And that allows the town to tax based on the value of the equipment that's installed. But as soon as they ask for a pilot, then that overrides that one. So you have a mechanism to tax them, but most solar developers are gonna ask for a pilot. So they're not paying the assessed value of the equipment that they're installing.
3 years ago, so the big towns that are hit, it's Homer, Solon, and Cortlandville. We're hit the hardest with solar panels because this is where the main transmission lines go. It does them no good if they're not a transmission line, so that's where the main transmission line. We got together, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, and negotiated a deal that when the solar project comes in, the IDA would stay out of it, and we set a price of like $7,000, I think it was, per kilowatt or whatever it was, that we would receive, and the IDA would stay out of it, and the county and everybody agreed to it. Then all of a sudden, the IDA decided, nope, that wasn't gonna be satisfactory, by law, they could take it over, which they took it over, and that wiped that out. So the IDA, I'm gonna be honest with you, they're gonna make out better than the towns are gonna make out, but that's, again, that's out of our hand, New York State sets stuff up very peculiarly, and, so we gotta live with whatever, basically, the state says around us. On the big projects, the lower projects is a little different, but unfortunately, they've taken all, on the big projects, everything away from home rule. Yes.
Mike brought up the whole, these solar projects, they get decommissioned, the soil gets contaminated. Can townships force these solar companies to clean the soil when they decommission it so that it is a usable?
Yeah, those details have to be worked out in the decommissioning plans, and typically you do see that in those. Depending on the size of the installation, the state gets involved, and they will override the towns where they feel like you're being over restrictive. But you do have the opportunity to put those requirements in the decommissioning plans.
So when I met with the solar company that's doing our big project, they call it Homer Solar, it's a big project, Chloe Pruitt is her name. They brought a team up here, so we had Solon here, Carlinville here, and planning board is here. But anyway, we met with them, so some of the things that I asked them for an agreement for the town of Homer, I don't know every road they're going on because I want a road plan put in place to put these roads back to as is condition, because there's gonna be a lot of equipment running along. We wanted some kind of a guarantee, or you're gonna be reaching out to local vendors before you go out of state, because they're gonna bring it all out of state. That's a hard one to do, but they said they would write something up and try to reach out, because we got a lot of excavating companies, that could do a lot of this work, so we were really concerned, let's get local people working in this, or we're not getting anything else. And then the decommissioning plan, we did talk about that, so we're gonna see what they come back with, because that was a big concern too, in getting that money set aside in an escrow account. Because when they sell this off in a couple of years or go away, that money has to be there for the future. So we're working on that. As we get information, we're gonna be sharing it with everybody, so.
Where do the heavy metals come from? I mean, what does that really mean?
Chemicals in the solar panels.
There's a
Really
lot of chemicals
toxic
that drips
waste.
off of them, is that the idea?
If they get broken, if you have a hailstorm or anything, or when you're breaking them down to remove them, there's toxic chemicals in the panels. They're literally toxic waste.
Didn't realize that.
They tell you there's nothing toxic in them, but they're highly toxic.
Oh, yeah.
Highly toxic.
Especially if they catch fire.
And the Homer Fire Department is dealing with that too. And that's a great thing with going to the planning, and that was brought up, but there's, at the planning and what they're writing you've gotta be certain safeguard in these battery storages, because they cannot fight them. Something I didn't know, solar panels on your house, fire department's not gonna fight that fire. They're gonna watch your house burn to the ground, because you can't turn the power off, they're gonna get electrocuted. Never thought of that till that was mentioned. So there are a lot of, intricacies in these solar panels that the local fire department's gotta be trained on, and there's gotta be some money into that agreement to help train, and that was brought up too, to help train our local first responders, because it could be very deadly for them. So, with that, if there's anything else, I don't think I've gone through that. Board has anything? Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Yep.